Do me a favor, and if you have your camera off, if you could put it on. I'm not going to always require that, but I need to start associating your faces with your names and that sort of thing. So just for a little while until I get to know everybody. If you would rather put a picture of yourself up, then that's fine. Do y'all know how to do that? I think in the drop down where the dots are, you can put, a picture of yourself. Just because it's hard for me to recognize a black box later on, right? Okay, that's 12. I think that's pretty much everybody. Let me see, how many are we supposed to have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14. So there's 2 more, but maybe they'll be joining us in a few minutes. So let me start because I don't want to take up any more time than we need to for our first day, but I want to make sure that you feel like you've got a real solid foundation for where we're going forward. I'm Mrs. Ramos. I'll tell you a little bit about me because I'm going to ask you to do an activity asynchronously where you're telling me about you. So this is my 28th year teaching. I've been teaching for a real long time. But this is my first year doing virtual teaching. We kind of did that emergency thing at the end of the year last year, and we all did our best, but this is my first time starting a year with virtual learning. So we're all kind of learning as we go. I'm originally from Detroit, but I moved to the Valley in '92. So I know that was way before y'all were born, but I've been here for a while, and I'm married to that guy you might have had last year. Mr. Ramos is my husband. So we're sort of like a tag team, dual enrollment, force of nature or whatever. In any case, I want to get started today with the Blackboard. So if you have been able to access the Blackboard, then I want you to go ahead and open that up. I'm going to do a little tour of the Blackboard. I'm not going to do the syllabus today. I've prepared a video tour of the syllabus that you'll be looking at this week so that we don't have to take time in a live session going over the syllabus. But if you have your, let me share my screen here. If you have your Blackboard, I'm trying to go to the Blackboard, but I don't, hold on a second. I don't think it's gonna let me do it the way I have it set up. If you are unable to log into Blackboard, I did put most of the pertinent documents on the Google Classroom. I don't usually use Google Classroom very much except for announcements and some other incidental things. I like to list scholarships and things like that there. But for the most part, everything will be through Blackboard. If you need some help with your Blackboard, you can stick around after class and I'll try to get you on there. But let me go ahead, and I did take some screenshots just in case, because yesterday I heard that Blackboard was down. So when you sign into Blackboard, this is the first thing that you will see. It's on a page called Start Here, the Start Here page. So if you have that, you can just sort of follow along as I point out basically the features and a little tour of the way that I have Blackboard set up, and then I'll walk you through what we're going to do today and your assignments for the week. Hi, Kitty. I see. It's okay, she's cute. All right, so this first page just has my basic information. This number right here is my Google Voice number. So if you need to text me, you can do that. It's a separate number that the school gave me for my personal number. So lots of times it's just easier to text than to wait until I'm on a office hours Zoom. So you can just program that into your phone, or you can go back here. Email is here. I have both of them here. I'll probably respond faster to the WISD email. We are going to do a different type of schedule. I don't know if you saw, I posted it last week. The school district has set up a certain number of days that are synchronous, meaning that we're live like we are right now, and asynchronous where you're on your own. And they also built in some time where we're available, like there's a Zoom meeting that's open and you can drop in if you want to, kind of like if you needed to come in after school or at lunch to ask a question or something like that if we were in the school building. So I'm calling that virtual office hours, and that is going to be every day from 2:45 to 4. That's true for all your teachers. That's a schedule that they set up at East. So there'll be a Zoom and I'll just be working, you know, I'll be doing something on my computer. And if you stop by, you can pop in, ask a question, we can converse, and then, you know, you can go on your way. There's another time in the week where that will happen too, and I'll get into that when we get to the schedule, but I kind of put a link here on the Blackboard page so that you could find it easily. I also do have a Twitter. I like to retweet a lot of stuff about scholarships, things that, you know, the school's putting out, that kind of thing. I'm pretty active on that. Now, the next thing that you will see in the Start Here page on Blackboard is the important links. I'll probably add to this a little bit, but I think that, you know, it's kind of good on the starting page to have some of the key links that will be helpful for you. So I think these first two are pretty obvious. And then formative right here, let me talk about that a little bit because we're going to be using it every day. Formative is a website where you will answer a question every day that we're supposed to have class. They've told us that in order to do attendance, you need to do something. Like I need to have a product. Well, I don't want to make an assignment and have tons of things in the Google Classroom or something like that. So we're going to use a tool called Formative. And every day I'll have a question for you about what we're reading, what we're doing in class, and to be counted present for East and for STC, you'll need to complete that attendance slip. So they're usually minimal, you know, not a whole lot of work, but I need to have a physical representation that you were present in the class. That goes also for the asynchronous days. So today we have class. Thursday we don't have class, but you're supposed to be doing 1B work. So you have to go and do the formative to get attendance for that day as well. This is how the school district, you know, gets their money. So you have to make sure that you have your attendance slips. I'll go into that a little bit when I show you formative. Also, I'm going to be building a class video playlist. So every class period will be recorded and I'll be able to put that up. For some reason, if you can't make it to the live session at 8 a.m., you can go back and watch it. Once I put that up there, you can do the formative on your own. So I think she wants to learn English. I think that, I don't want to say this officially, but if there's a day where you couldn't get up at 8 in the morning or 7:30 for class, you could go and watch class later in the day, complete the formative, and that's what you need to do for that day. Does that make sense? Wink, wink, right? Okay, everybody gets that. I put a couple links over here to some STC stuff. The next section you'll see on the Start Here page is, you know, basically a listing of what you're going to see on the rest of the page. So you need to read that Start Here page all the way down. If you look on the left-hand side, you'll see that I've customized the navigation here. So Start Here page is the one that we're looking at right now. If you click on the weekly modules, every week, usually on Monday, I will put up your weekly assignments. I was speaking to my students from the spring and kind of asking them what worked for them and what didn't in this virtual learning. I wanted to be better at it this fall. And one of the things they told me was that they preferred to have all of their assignments up front for the week instead of every day something new, every day something new. So I've gone with that model. And if you click on weekly modules right here, you will see week 1 is available to you right here. So if you click on that, there'll be another week next week, and each Monday I'll post the week folder for that week. And then when we do our live session, I'll go ahead and go through everything for that week, answer questions, do some demo, whatever's necessary for that week. And then you can ask questions and you'll have the week to work on those assignments. So if you click on that one, You'll see that there's an overview for each week, and which is just like a little summary, and then a list of the things that we are going to do that week, the things that we're going to be focusing on. So this week our focus is on the syllabus, the pace of the course, expectations for participating, how to navigate Blackboard, which we're doing right now, how grades will be calculated, the goals of your classmates, and STC's policies on academic integrity. So every week I'll put that on there. Here's what we're focusing on. Below that is probably the main focus of the folder. So below that is everything for the week, and you can see that I have listed some discussion topics here for the week. We'll get into those in just a minute, but I've also outlined for you the due dates. Another thing that the students told me was helpful for them to stay on track in the spring was to have things that were due kind of throughout the week. Not everything all at once, not everything on one day. So you can still plan ahead, but things are kind of sprinkled out so that you can make sure that you are on track day by day. So I put the due dates in that way. Most of the time it's minimal. I usually like to give people until the end of the week, even until Sunday sometimes, to complete some of the longer assignments. Like we do a lot of reading in this class. So, you know, I don't want to make that due on Thursday when we just had class on Tuesday. So I'll go through all these in a second, but let's go through a little agenda here. I think I have this on the next page. Okay. So the new school schedule, if you want to click on that, I sent this out last week, but I thought you might have some questions about it, or you might appreciate going through it. Do y'all want me to do that? You can nod or thumbs up or whatever. Okay. So the way that we're going, this is the schedule until at least September 27th. Because until September 27th, everybody's on virtual school. On the 27th, we may go back to face-to-face as an option. We may not. We don't really know right now. The school district has the ability to extend 4 more weeks if it's not really safe to go back, you know, depending on what the situation is with the virus in our area. So this is the schedule until at least September 27th. When we do go back to the face-to-face sort of hybrid option, you'll have the option to continue from home or to go to school. So I don't want you to think that as soon as this virtual thing is over and there's some face-to-face that you have to go back. It's going to be a family decision. It's going to be your decision as a student. So you'll be able to continue virtually, I think, all year if that's your preference. But let's talk about the schedule here. So you can see that Monday and Tuesday are synchronous days. If you had a dual class yesterday, then you started with you know, one of these sections. I highlighted in yellow the times when you have to be in class. So if you have a 1B class, then like right now, then these are the times that you need to sign in and be present because the teacher's going to be doing a lesson. Then there's like a little 15-minute break before 2A. They shortened the class periods down compared to like our schedule when we didn't have all this going on. They have a little lunch break there. You have to get your own stuff. Sorry, they're not going to be delivering. That'd be nice, right? But they, and then you go to 3A and or B and then 4B. So Monday's an A day every week. Tuesday's a B day every week. Wednesday's an A day, but you can see that this is different because it's asynchronous. So that means that you're working on your own. There's not going to be a lesson. There's not a Zoom that you have to sign into. You can, and I put it there in sort of a teal highlight, if you're working on your 1A stuff on Wednesday morning and you need to ask your teacher a question, your teacher's supposed to be available for the last 30 minutes of that assigned time so that you can sign in, so office hours. So say we have our class period right now, we're in this section right here according to the schedule. Thursday, you do not need to sign in with me. You're working on your stuff this week. Do you have to be doing it at 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday? No, I think that they're expecting that you are because they have me available from 9 to 9:30 in case you have a question, but we all know that's not how this works. So if you want to and you have a question, you can you know, I'll have a Zoom going, and you can sign in and ask me a question if you're working on something and you're not sure about that. Let me see. So then you just go through your day that way. Let me talk about the end of the day. So at the end of the day, they adjusted the schedule so that everybody finishes at 2:45 with the class periods. Then from 2:45 until 4 is what they're calling teacher support. That means that we're in a live Zoom call, and you can drop in if you want. I'm going to admit students one by one. I'm not going to have, you know, 10 students and I'm trying to talk to each one. So if, say, 3 students come in today at 3 o'clock, I'll admit one. I'll talk with that student about whatever they need, help them with whatever they're working on, or if they're having trouble with, you know, STC credentials, whatever it is. And then when I'm done with that person, I'll admit the next person. So it's kind of like if you were waiting outside the door for a student to leave in my actual classroom. Does that make sense? Do y'all have any questions about the schedule? Because then I'll talk about Fridays. Go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question.
I don't have a question.
Okay. What is it? Or did you say you don't have a question?
Oh, no, I don't have a question. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sorry.
That's okay. Then on Friday is going to alternate A-B. So Monday through Thursday, we have A-B every week. Friday is going to switch out from A to B week by week. So this week is an A week. So A classes are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now the teacher can decide if they want to have that class period synchronous or asynchronous. So your teacher might tell you, we're going to have a synchronous class period on Friday. You know, they could do that this week if it's A, and they're expecting for you to show up to a live session just like on, you know, Monday. I don't plan on doing that. If I do have a synchronous class period on a B day Friday, I think that it will be because we're working on a project and maybe there's some people who might, you know, appreciate having, you know, an open session where I can put people in groups or whatever. So I don't expect to have additional lecture or anything like that on Friday. I'm confident that with our, you know, Tuesday meeting, I can go through what we need to for the week, and then I'm available after that if you have questions individually. I think that that should work pretty well for us. So is there anything about just the meeting schedule that I can answer? Now's a good time to stop and talk about that. No? Okay, the next thing to talk about then is summer reading. You should turn in your summer reading assignment today. The assignment was to read this book called How to Read Literature Like a Professor. We're going to be dealing with this book throughout the term. So as we read different texts over our assignments over the weeks, we'll kind of touch back on this book. And that's why I wanted you to make a page, two-sided page, where you could go back and reference it. That's going to be a tool for you. So your assignment that you did is actually a helpful tool for you so that you can go back and reference it as you're working through the material. The material that we have for this class is not always easy. And so I wanted to give you every opportunity to do well. And this book, I think, really helps with the mind of, you know, reading and thinking about literature in an active way. So that was the assignment. And then the rubric, I also posted that. So the scoring guide is here. Hopefully you had a chance to look at it to make sure that your assignment that you turned in met these requirements. But that's due today in Google Classroom. There are very few things that I'll have you turn into Google Classroom, but there are some things that STC does not want me to grade in the STC category. One of them is summer reading. Another one is like college admissions essays, or actually they don't want me to give a grade in Blackboard for rough drafts or anything like that. So the only thing that goes in there is the final grade. So that should get turned in today. The syllabus is available to you, but I kind of want to go, it looks like this. I made a video So if you're in the, let me see, let me go live into the Blackboard here. If you kind of look down, there's a link here to the syllabus, but also by next class period, which is next Tuesday, I want you to make sure that you've read the syllabus and watched the walkthrough video. I made about, I guess it's about 20 minutes of me going through the syllabus. So on our next synchronous time, next Tuesday, I'll ask you if there's any questions from the syllabus, anything that you want me to talk about. But I did a pretty thorough walkthrough of the syllabus. And so that's on your list of to-dos over the week so that I don't have to spend time during class today doing that. Any questions about summer reading or the syllabus? No? Everybody's still just waking up? Yeah, I know, it's hard, 8 a.m., right? Okay, class, academic integrity is the next thing on the list. There is a little quiz that you need to do this week. So when we start the school year or the term, we always like to talk about academic integrity because, you know, it can be sort of a thorny topic. So there is a quiz and it's due Sunday right here. And I'll show you how you can access it in just a second. But it's one of those quizzes where you can keep taking it as many times as you want to, but you need to make 100 on it so that I know that you know the rules about academic integrity. There are times when some students, I don't think any of you, but where some students get busy or they, you know, get negligent with their work and they find ways to submit work that isn't their own. And so there are rules about that. And unfortunately, pretty much every semester, maybe there's a couple semesters where it didn't happen, I've had to dismiss people from the course for falling into that trap. So I want you to do the quiz. You'll see that it's right down here at the bottom. And I've set it up so that you can do it as many times as you need. You'll read, I think, 3 pages from the student handbook and then answer questions until you can get 100 on that quiz. And then that grade will go into the STC gradebook, and it will also be documentation for me that you're aware of your responsibilities in academic integrity and doing things in an ethical manner for class. So that's the way that we'll be dealing with that. If you're having trouble with the quiz or it's not working for you, you can message me or you can show up in the office hours and I'll see what I can do to help you. Another assignment this week has to do with class introductions. I'm not a real big put people on the spot icebreaker type person. I don't like those when I go to staff development and they say, oh, everybody picked up a slip of paper when they walked in. All the purples go over here and have a chat, and all you people, I don't like doing that stuff. So instead, I have an assignment that you'll work on, and there's 2 parts to it so that we can introduce ourselves and you'll like have a little time to make something. So that one is due on the first part on Friday. Let me click on it here. It should open. I made a slideshow. So what I'd like you to do, I have a cuckoo clock. What I'd like you to do is make a slide in this slide presentation. And let me just go through it so that you can see. There's an assignment here. Basically, I want your slide to show who you are and where you're going, like what things you want us to know about you and what your future plans are. So this goes through how you can do that and ideas and that sort of thing. Then the second part is to go back and react to 5 of your classmates' slides. So the first part is due Friday by the end of the day. By the end of the day, I mean 11:59 p.m. right? And then you can go back in after that, and I want you to just, you know, kind of peruse your classmates' slides and make some comments. There's a little instruction here about how to do the comments. It's up here on the toolbar. And you can just leave a little note, or it's cool that you're thinking about the same university or whatever. There's some tutorials here. If you're not super good with Google Slides, there's some things that you can do here. And then you're going to insert your slide after that. I recommend that you do your slide on your own document first, you know, like in Google, open up a slideshow and create your slide the way you want it to be, and then import it into this slideshow afterwards. That way, you know, you don't have situations where there's, you know, 12 people trying to move things around in the same slideshow. I put an example in here of mine. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now, but you're welcome to look at it. You can also see that one of the requirements is multimedia. So I put my music favorites playlist here. And also I have to be on TikTok and Snapchat because I have a 13-year-old niece. So I have, and she wants to do snap streaks all the time. So I'm on those things. And so if you wanted to see some of mine, you can click here and see it. In any case, I just did that as an example. And then next week, we'll kind of maybe touch base about our slide a little bit. After that are some templates and tools and things in case you get super crafty and you really want to customize your slide. Here are some tools that can help you. And then here's some blank things that you can use if you want. Little images you can put if you like. But anyway, I wanted to show kind of who you are and where you're going. You can see I labeled the sections of mine, who I am and where I'm going over here. So you can put pictures. I put an age progression because, I mean, obviously I'm a little further along on the journey of life than you guys are. So where I'm going is basically retirement. But I think that I put in a picture of Mr. Ramos and I when we were dating. Look at that. And then here's like sort of now, and then somebody did an age progression on us, which is sort of frightening, but I guess that's my future. So I put that over there. You know, anyway, so I just put the things that I wanted to represent about myself on that slide. So the assignment is to finish your slide and put it into this slideshow. You should have editing rights on the slideshow. Do that for Friday, and then everybody has a chance to look at each other's slides and make some comments and that sort of thing before Sunday. Does that make sense? I feel like that's better than having to make you do a on-spot presentation or something like that. It's just embarrassing sometimes. So, all right, so let me see, I was on this one. So that one is listed here. And then at the bottom, you'll see that there is some reading to do for next Tuesday. So before you come to our next synchronous class, there are some things that you need to already have done, and they're listed here. Now, how many of you, if you do not have a textbook, let's do it this way. If you do not have a textbook, can you post that in the chat? It looks like this. Oh, I have it on the other, hold on. Sorry, I should have brought that over earlier. It looks like this. There is an older version. I don't know if the school gave out this version or the older version. It looks just a little bit different, and the page numbers are a little bit different, but this is the one that we'll be using. Almost everything that you will read for this class will be out of that book. For the next week or two, I will put, you can see down here, the page numbers are listed, but I also made a PDF just in case you're still, you know, trying to get your book or something like that. So this week and next week, I'll probably link everything to a PDF so that you can read it. But then after that, everybody should have their book. So if you're having trouble with that, let me know. So for next class period, make sure that you've read through the syllabus. If you want to, you can watch the walkthrough video. I recommend it because I'll be talking about, you know, every teacher's different, right? And that's one of the struggles that I think we'll have this fall, is that everybody has a different way of doing things and you guys have to get used to all 8 of them. But there's a list here of all of the readings that you need to do and a little guide about what you need to do with that. On Tuesday next week, I will be using these 2 stories to model for you next week's assignments. So you have to have read the stories ahead of time, or as I'm talking about them, it's not going to make sense to you. So there'll be reading assignments like that every week. I would say probably Everybody always wants to know, probably between 20 and 40 pages a week, something like that. Okay, I think I went through everything here. The syllabus is also available right here, by the way. Also, this assignment is available here. And then here's the quiz. That one's due on Friday. So the only thing I haven't talked about is formative. Are there any questions up to this point? Am I going too fast? I feel like no, everybody's okay? Too slow when I'm boring? I don't know. All right, so let's talk about those attendance slips. So there is a website called Formative that I'm going to use for the for class, and it will be the way that you get your attendance each day. So you can click on Formative right here and it will take you to the website. Now it's probably going to take me to my teacher interface, but it will ask you for a code. You only have to do this one time. And the code is listed right here. It's N297L5 for this class. So every day I'll post a little question, like a check-in question. It'll be over our material, and it'll be different types. Sometimes I'll ask you to watch a 2-minute video and respond to it. Sometimes it'll just be a question. Today is just a question. So when you, I don't know how it's going to look for students, but it should look something like this. It's about your summer reading assignment. So I'm asking, what single chapter in the summer reading assignment, How to Read Literature Like a Professor, gave you the most insight into literary analysis? What insight did you gain? How do you think this insight could help you in this course? So I'm assuming that that will be like a little short paragraph. Then you've got a space where you can respond to that. When you respond to that, then I will go ahead and mark you present. So if you do that later today, that's fine. If you want to sit there and work on it while I'm finishing up talking about the class, then you can do that. Is there anybody who's having trouble getting into Formative or accessing an account there? Why don't y'all try to do it right now so that if there are any problems, we can resolve them. You don't have to answer it necessarily, but any issues? No? Okay, so the way that that works is that our next B day is Thursday. So you'll need to remember on Thursday, maybe I'll do like does it help you to get notifications on Classroom? If I just put a reminder and a link so that you can do that? Or do you think you'll remember on your own? Can you unmute yourself and tell me?
I think I'll be good personally.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else? Because if you don't do it, then I have to mark you absent in both places. I don't want to do that. So maybe for the first one, I'll remind you, and then after that, you can just, put it on your planner or whatever. You would not have to do it this Friday because this Friday is an A day, but next week, it would be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday that you would need to do the formative so that I can mark you present. All right, any questions on that? I'm pretty much done. want to leave some time for Q&A in case there's a question that I can answer for you, or if there's a concern that you have about our current situation, or something that I might know because we've been back at school for 2 weeks that you're wondering about how things are going to go, or anything like that. Is there anything that you have questions about
Yes.
with the class? Or
Could you go to the code? Because I need the code to log into the formative.
It's right here.
I
It's
could, cause I couldn't see it on mine. That's why. But thank you.
oh, okay. It's N297L5. By the way, they have a really good interface on your phone, so you don't necessarily have to go to the website. If you just bookmark the formative page or whatever in your phone, in the browser, you can do it really easily right from there. All right. Anything else that you wanted to ask about? Maybe you're wondering about decisions that are being made about school, or anything like that that I might know that I could tell you. No? Okay, the only other thing is just a reminder that there is an orientation for Blackboard that you need to complete for STC by Friday. Probably all your dual teachers are telling you that. STC wants to make sure that you are, equipped to maneuver through Blackboard. And so they have an orientation that they want you to complete by Friday. They're saying that there's 5 modules, I think, in it, and it's about 2 hours. So you'll have to certify that you've done that. I'm assuming that there's a link in your JAGNet or something like that for you to access that. That's kind of why I went a little bit light with the assignments this week, because I knew that you were working on that. All right. If there aren't any other questions, then that's all we need from class today. I know it's early. I'm not going to make you talk. No? All right, well, feel free to drop in. There's a separate Zoom call for office hours. I'll just remind you over here on the start page. So if this afternoon you have a question, maybe you didn't feel like asking a question right now, you can contact me. You can also text me at my Google Voice number. You can email me. I'm pretty responsive. All right. Well, I guess that's it then for today. I'm going to go ahead and close the meeting, but I look forward to seeing you all next week. And if you need anything, just let me know.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome back to school.